Chaji, let's talk about operation research. So, operation research is one of the way we take decisions. So, decision making can be on the basis of the subjective reasoning or the objective reasoning. Okay? For example, if I want to take a decision in my company, so I would have an opportunity to look into the subjective part or the objective part. Subjective part can be what I think, what others think, what experts say, okay, or what my experience helps me. So that's how it goes. But when we talk about the objective, it requires numbers, it requires information, okay, and with that information of resources or objective, we come to the conclusion. And that decision does not actually backfire. So never mislead us. So if anything happens, then you always have a witness that, see, sir, I have these documents, I did these calculations, on the basis of these calculations, I took a decision. And if the things has not reached to that particular direction, so it is not my fault. So yeah, it may be due to other factors. Okay? There are many uncertainties are there. So you cannot obviously calculate all, but at least you should have good knowledge about all the certain situations so that you can make the objective decision. Okay, ji? So decision making is primarily very, very important. So I request every one of you that please have the pen and copy with you, so that you don't miss out with any of the term I will be using. Miss, if you would like to come ahead. Yes. Yes. Nani, it's difficult to listen. Come here. Acha ji. Now, Acha ji, note it down. When we talk about the operation research, the operation research approach, note it down, operation research approach to decision making is based on three phases. Operations research approach to decision making is based on three phases: judgment, research and action. Judgment, research and action. So it's very easy definition actually. Okay, the decision making, operation research approach to decision making, operations research approach to decision making is based on three phases. First is judgment, second is, third is action. Okay? Judgment, research, action. So what do you think judgment is? Yes, very good. Okay. What we see, when I use the word we, it means the experts, the experienced people, okay? The resources you have. What do they think about it? So
what are our assumptions?
yes, very good. Assumptions are very, very important. When we talk about the assumptions, it means what are the how we are looking at the scenario, For example, assumption is there is no class without a single student. So this is an assumption that x, if x is the number of students, then there will be no class if there is no student. So you can say x must be 1 or more than 1. Otherwise class will never be conducted. So this is one of the assumption. So when we talk about the assumption, we take different variables and there are constraints as well. There are constraints. What are the constraints? Constraints are whenever you want to produce any product, anything manufacture, anything like that, you require resources and resources are limited. As you have already studied in the economics, resources are
Scarce.
scarce. Yes, very good. Scarce. When we say scarce, what does it mean? It means we don't have the unlimited opportunity. Okay? No matter how much finances we have, but resources are limited. Very, very important. So operation research tells us how to get the optimum performance, how to achieve our objective through the scarce resources. So when we talk about the scarce resources, we talk about the constraints. We talk about the constraints. So there is in the practical situation, there are always constraints. There are always constraints. For example, as a student, you have many constraints. Okay? In the student life, you have many constraints. So constraint, on the basis of the constraint, you take decision because you cannot violate any constraint. Okay? Yes, you can dynamically change the constraints, some or the other reason, but you need to be within the constraints. Okay, so this is important point. Okay, action, when we talk about the action, what does it mean? It means you have to implement it. You have to implement it so that you get to know whether your calculation or research is up to the mark or not. The first thing is judgment, second thing is research. So when we talk about the research, we use the mathematical models. We use the mathematical models. So mathematical models helps us in understanding the problem well, in finding the solution actually, in finding the solution. So first step, whenever we go for the problem, we need to understand the problem first so that we can come up with the mathematical model. And that model has to be solved so that the action can be performed accordingly. ठीक है जी? जी?
Execution should be.
Yes, action is execution. ठीक है, any questions so far? Okay. Okay, when we talk about mathematical model in the research, we talked about mathematical models. मैंने ये बात की आपसे, in the research we create the mathematical models. So what is model? Any idea? Any idea? Model in mathematical term. जी?
लाइक फॉर्मूला में पहले से बिल्ड हुआ होगा, उसके अकॉर्डिंग अगर आंसर आ रहा है तो ये हमारा मॉडल है। वो भी फॉर्मूला बनाते हैं।
अगर पहले से बिल्ड हुआ है तो मॉडल कैसे होता है? सवाल ये है।
हम hypothesize करते हैं.
ठीक है.
We will take hypothetical values and we will put
ठीक.
them how will it work.
ठीक है. देखिए, हाइपोथेटिकली तो आप रिलेशनशिप क्रिएट करते हैं. वी कैन नेवर टेक द हाइपोथेटिकल वैल्यूज बिकॉज आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द ऑब्जेक्टिव डिसीजन मेकिंग. इन द ऑब्जेक्टिव डिसीजन मेकिंग वी डू नॉट टेक द हाइपोथेटिकल वैल्यूज. नेवर टॉक अबाउट इट. Hypothetical values is what? Based on your own thinking, judgment, we cannot take. We need to take the numbers which are already in the system. If in case there is no number, such thing like a number, because of the new product or something new, that is a separate case. When we have the number, we have the information, then go for it. ठीक है? Okay, note down the definition of model. Model. A model is an approximation of reality. Is an approximation of reality which considers only which considers only the essential variables and parameters in the system along with their relationship. A model is an approximation of reality. A model is an approximation of reality. Done? Which considers only the essential variables and parameters in the system along with their relationships. जी variables, bracket में factors, you can also write factors and variables are same actually. Which considers only the essential variables and parameters in the system along with their relationships. So do we have marker and duster, Anas sir? Okay. डस्टर ठीक है. ठीक है. So what have we learned from this definition? Model. जी, a model is an approximation of reality. So whenever you will be given a question, you will have to approximate it. You have to approximate the reality. The question, the problem in the exam or in the assignment will be the reality, and you will have to approximate with the variables. Variables can be x, y, z, x1, x2, x3. It's over you. Okay? These are all our variables. And when we talk about the parameters, what does that mean? Parameters are coefficient of the variables. Parameters are the... Do you have any idea about coefficients? Parameters are the coefficients. Like 2x. 2 is coefficient. X is variable. ठीक है ना? So 2x, when we talk about the 2x, so 2 is the parameter, x is the variable. ठीक है जी? And when we talk about the relationship, there must be a relationship between them. ठीक है? There must be a relationship. For example, a factory is producing multiple products. For example, a factory is producing 2 products. So at once a factory have few constraints, so you need to decide at how many X product can be produced over there, how many Y products can be produced over there. So you see there's a relationship. The both products are being manufactured at the same facility. So there's a relation. There is always a relationship between the variables. So we'll be discussing about it. Acha, is there anyone of you have seen the course outline? No? Why not? You should have. I have already uploaded. Okay, let's talk about the applications of operation research, so that we can relate it with why we are studying. It's very, very important. The importance of any subject makes you feel like studying it. So you need to understand it very well. In the marketing, we also use the operation research. If you are interested in going to the marketing field, so you need to know the operation research. How come? Any idea? How come we can use in the marketing?
प्रोडक्ट डेवलपमेंट से पहले हम उसकी डिमांड फोरकास्ट कर सकते हैं या रिसर्च कर सकते हैं कि कैलकुलेशन कितने प्रोडक्ट्स बनाएंगे कितने मार्केटिंग के लिए।
और इसके अलावा anyone who would like to contribute?
प्रोजेक्ट द सेल्स मतलब टारगेट आप रख सकते हो अपनी लिमिटेड रिसोर्सेज को देते हैं।
Repeat.
आप अपनी टारगेटेड सेल्स को मतलब आप प्रोजेक्ट कर सकते हो।
That is same जो मिसने कहा। देखिए, forecasting is basically does not fall into the project operation research. Forecasting is basically predicting your demand. That's it. ठीक है? It does not have, मतलब it does not require you to think beyond that. If you already have a data, you go with a time series. Time series is the one which has the previous data. When you have a previous data, you use it and you forecast. That's it. ठीक है? So you don't consider the constraints you have. Yes, at the time of deciding, Anas Saab has just mentioned that we can use any model. Anas Saab or someone else? Model that I think you have talked about. Okay, we can use any model. Actually, we can use the model in the forecasting only. In this, we create models. We do not use the models. We create model as per our needs, as per our requirement. Okay, so in forecasting, we use already created models. For example, in the forecasting, we go with the moving average method. Okay, we go with the weighted moving average method. Okay, we go with the regression method. Okay, we go with the seasonality method. We go with the smoothing method, naive method. So there are many methods which you can use. But when we talk about in the operation research, we create the model on the basis of our constraints, on the basis of our assumptions we create. So in the marketing, if we talk about, if we want to launch a product, so OR will help you in deciding about the product mix. That what are the product mix that will give you the optimum profit. Very important. Because you are a commercial company, okay? You are not an NGO. So you need to look first that what are the products which will benefit you, and specifically making together in your factory. Secondly, if we talk about when you launching a new product, so what is the best possible time to launch a product? So you get to know through the operation research. You can keep writing it because that can be part of your upcoming assessment anytime. These are very important. You need to know that what are the implications of the operation research. The implications are very, very important. And you also predict the customer loyalty, that what is the loyalty of the customer. You can predict. So you see, we are not predicting the demand, we are predicting the customer loyalty. So this is some kind of unique concept to you. You are predicting the customer loyalty. And you select the advertising campaign which will give you the best result. What kind of advertising campaign? When we talk about the marketing, we talk about the 360-degree marketing. So the 360-degree marketing, what are the mix of marketing you need to use so that you get the optimum results? So sales effort assignment, how can you best assign the sales force to get the maximum result. So these are the possible implications or the possible implementation of operation research. ठीक है? In the marketing particularly. Any other thing which you think is applicable to the operation research other than marketing?
Supply chain.
Yes, I will be talking about after some time. Okay, let's talk about procurement, which is part of a supply chain. One of the students has just come up, purchasing and procurement. So optimal buying, when we say optimal buying, how much do we have to buy? Very important task. Okay? We cannot buy as per the request of the supplier. We cannot buy as per the amount we have in the bank. So what is the optimal quantity for buying? It impacts your bottom line, your profits. So it needs to be investigated very well. Reordering. When you have to reorder, how frequently you have to reorder. Important point. So would you go with the price quantity discount or not? So would you go with the discount, yes or not? So it will also help you, because supplier always lure you, always attract you, try to convince you with the different discounts they offer. So you have to decide whether you have to go with the discount or not. Yes. So you can decide that whether you have to go with the discounts or not, price discounts or not. Transportation planning. Transportation planning is done by the OR. We will be studying, in this course we will be studying transportation planning. Which route is the best?
And which transporter is the best? Like
Yes, बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल. Transporters, routes, network, so everything we'll be studying about transportation. Vendor analysis. Vendor analysis is also done by the operation research. So let's move to the production management. When we talk about the production is one of the very critical tasks we have, because whatever value we are giving to the customers, it based on our product. So if our product is not up to the mark, so you can never expect the customer loyalty. Production is very, very critical to you. So facilities planning. For the facilities planning, we require the operation research. When I talk about the facilities planning, in that case, in that scenario, you see, facility is one of the strategic decisions any company could take. Why? Because it requires a lot of investment, millions of rupees of investment. You can rent out a warehouse, you can get a warehouse on rent in 2.5 million easily. I'm talking about the mediocre warehouse, not a big warehouse. That can cost you much more. So you see, the facility location is a critical decision for any company. And size of a warehouse is also part of the OR. You need to see that what should be the size. Because size, if warehouse size is not up to the demand, then what will happen? You cannot follow any policy, any warehouse policy at all. Because there will not be any gully, any way to move around for the supervisor. Getting a point? Because if you do not have the capacity in the warehouse, what would you do? You place the products anywhere and everywhere. Because you cannot keep the products outside the warehouse.
on the shelf.
Yes. So if you want to be with the policy, if you want to follow the safety and security measures in the warehouse, you need to find out the right size, the correct size of the warehouse. And operation research helps you in that. The design, the engineering design of the products is also done by the OR. The transportation planning, scheduling is pretty tricky part. कि which vehicle has to go first. Waiting time, inshallah we will be studying. Queuing theories we will be studying. So through that,
theoretical or mathematical subject?
it is both. Yes. Being a BBA students, you should know how to formulate models, because nowadays softwares are available. You can put the variables in the software and easily get the results. But you need to know how to formulate the models, how to come up with the different problems. So this, inshallah, we will be helping out. Manufacturing is also, it also help in manufacturing, that is the aggregate production planning. OR is also helps in that. So whatever name I'm just listing you, we will be discussing one by one, different models, different numericals. So right now I'm introducing you with the OR, that what are the functions of the OR, what are the benefits of OR. As a BBA student, why are you studying OR? The question is. So you are studying OR because of these reasons, that the OR is applicable in most functions of the business. Okay? It is applicable in most functions of business in different ways. In training you can also use in laying off the employees. If you want to lay off the employee, you can use the OR models. Okay? You cannot lay off anyone who you do not like. You need to first analyze. You need to first analyze, research, then you can come up with the action. You cannot take action, okay, without judge and without research. So you need to do both. So maintenance and project scheduling is also done by the OR. When we talk about the labor, what should be the size of the labor at what time? For example, if we talk about any recreational facility like the Dream World, so you see the Dream World has what do they offer? They offer the services. So they need to manage the services well. If they are saying they are the premium, they are providing the premium services. And for that they need to schedule their labor so that the optimum or the best service can be given to the customers. Okay? Otherwise the customer will not have a good experience. Like the Disney World, when you go to the Disney World, you expect the lifetime experience, because many people go to the Disney World once in life, mostly, except few who like to go most of the time, but they are few. When we talk about the most of the people go only once. So for creating the good impression, you need to use the resources at your optimum level, at the optimum level. So what is optimum level? Optimum level is the level in which you provide the best services at the lowest cost. At the backbenchers, if you want to talk, you may go outside. No problem. Your attendance is done. Do not disturb the class. ठीक है जी? So we were discussing that if you are providing services, you need to be very cautious, because most of your investment is in maintenance and in the labor, because you are not providing any product, you are not manufacturing any product. Okay? So in that case you need to do a personal management very well. OR will help you in that scenario. So when we talk about the quality management, so OR helps us in quality management. Okay? When we talk about the quality, no company can get the better profit, can the good customer loyalty without quality. Quality is primarily very important. You reduce your cost, you improve your revenue. You reduce your cost, you improve your revenue with the quality, and the quality can be achieved with the OR as well. Okay, so OR will help us in getting the good quality. And if we talk about the government level, so in the planning, the urban planning, the rural planning, they also use the OR. And housing problem, ठीक है ना? pollution control, they can also use the OR in that. So I remember I was offered the same course when I was in the BS Computer Science. Obviously the content was not same, but the course was OR, and many engineering university offer the OR. Same thing, content are not same, but the course is OR. So you see the OR has a widespread application across the industry. If you are not sure about my words, go and ask any of your friend or your brother or anyone who is studying engineering. Any idea about it? Am I correct or am I wrong in that? No idea. Okay, let's start solving it. Any questions so far? Anything which you would like to ask? Anything which is unclear? No? Okay, let's start doing the numericals problems.